Guys, if you want to be a successful copywriter, this is a video you need to listen to, and I'll tell you why. In 1985, I began writing copy because I had to have money coming into the bank. It was really that simple. I'd been fired yet again from my hairdressing business, and I had to write some adverts to get myself busy. That's how it was. All these years later, nothing really ever changes. Successful copywriters, A-list copywriters, have to do what they do because they have to make it happen, they have to make it work. We don't just sit around doing nothing all day. Now, I spent some time going through YouTube and watching some of these new copywriters online. And quite frankly, some of the stuff they are teaching young copywriters like yourself are ridiculous. Ridiculous because they slow down the whole process. They over complicate the whole process as well. And they make it far too complicated to get anywhere, doing anything, slowing the whole process down so that they, of course, can sell their product, their courses, their group, their Facebook groups, their manuals, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, I have books and manuals that you can buy about copywriting. My best-selling one is, of course, The Accidental Copywriter. But that's not what this video is about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a few things that I think just do not work. I think it's a complete and utter total waste of time. One thing these new copywriting trainers tell you, and of course there's a question you have to ask yourself, is how much copywriting have they done for real clients? How much copy have they written that has brought in real money for themselves or for their real clients? How successful are they as an active copywriter? So, some of these guys will say to you, what you need to do, and I know this because my mentees tell me this all the time on Copywriting Mentor. One of the things they will say is, okay, get these very famous ads. So I've got this book out just to show you. These very, very famous ads like David Ogilvy or, the ones I always mention, the Gary Halbert letters. Get those letters, get them in front of you and write them out word for word. Well, why the hell would you do that? Isn't that time consuming? That can take hours, it can take days, and for some new copywriters, it can take weeks. Copywriting is not about copying somebody else's writing. It's about writing copy. It's about taking a conversation. It's about taking a persuasive moment and putting it into words. It's about telling a story. It's about having a visual and verbal agreement with the reader, which will compel them to action. It's not about sitting down and spending months. So I will have a new copywriter that will come to me and they'll say, here's all the letters I copied word for word. What do you think? Well, if you've copied them word for word, I don't think anything. I think you've just copied them word for word. It hasn't done anything. It hasn't shown you anything. And you haven't really learned anything apart from how to copy word for word. Putting a piece of tracing paper over an image and copying around that image doesn't make you a great artist. All it does is gives you the ability to trace an image. And that's what a lot of these copywriter trainers are training people like you to just to trace or to copy existing ads. Of course, I understand what they're probably trying to say, is which you will learn from that and grow from that. But here's my question to you. Did you learn from it and did you grow from it? Did you build a business from it and did you make money from doing that? From my experience, speaking to you guys, probably not. So you have to be very, very careful about listening to some things that these trainers are saying. So the other thing I'm hearing a lot of at the moment is artificial intelligence is going to take over the business of most copywriters. So you have to change the way you're thinking. Well, I can tell I've looked at some AI and it does an incredible job. But this is where, as a copywriter, you can't be frightened or nervous. You have to rise to the challenge. This is a whole different conversation, really. You have to rise to the challenge and create a specialized area within your copywriting business. Now, am I talking about niche businesses? Because all these copywriting trainers will say to you, you have to find your niche and work with that niche. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that at all. Because you can become a specialist in any niche very, very quickly as long as you know how to do your research properly. I remember one of the first jobs I got early on was actually in day trading. I knew nothing about day trading and I freaked out when I got the assignment. I thought, oh my God, how can I write this copy about day trading? It's not my niche. But I didn't have a niche. I was writing for anyone. Apart from, there was a few excluded marketplaces that I had. But anyway, I got this assignment through to write this niche. And this guy did nearly $2 million in sales. And he phoned me up personally from the USA, personally thanked me. He was in London. He insisted we meet for dinner to thank me for this $2 million. And it was from day trading. So what did I do? It wasn't my niche. I got paid handsomely for doing that copy also. What did I do? I just researched to death that particular marketplace. So I knew the buzzwords, the trigger words, the attractors, the hot words, everything to do with that niche. I knew about it. So that when I was writing the copy, I could have a conversation in a conversational manner on a level that the reader would relate to. So finding a niche and sticking to a niche is a flawed concept within the world of copywriting. Why would you do that? I know, actually, in this book, Ogilvy, who is one of my copywriting heroes, David Ogilvy, he talks about in that book where he was skint and he was on his knees and somebody came in, offered him $5,000 or pounds and said, can you do something for this? And he said, yeah, we can. Was it his niche? No, it wasn't. But he understood the art of writing, the art of the conversation. He understood the mindset enough. He understood that research was critical for him to become a brilliant copywriter. And that company, if I remember right, was Schweppes. Schweppes, a famous drinking company at that time. So, some of these things these guys are teaching online are just horrible. You know, become just an email writer, just become a web writer. It's a horrible approach for you as a copywriter because it will create a very small-minded copywriter that doesn't have the expansion and the expansiveness to build a bigger copywriting business. Because it suddenly says to you, this is what I do and I can't do this, I cannot do that, I cannot do this. So guys, as a copywriter, what you need to do is you need to unplug from a lot of these new copywriters. Some of them are saying good stuff, but from what I've seen online, most of them are telling you stuff that literally will have zero effect to you as a copywriter and as a business person in the real world. It's just not going to happen. So if you want to just have your ears tickled, and if you just want to hang out in these groups and talk about how great you are in your little room on your little MacBook Pro typing away, it's perfect. If you want somebody to say to you in an email or a group, yeah, you're doing a great job, now go and practice this, it's perfect. That is how you become a very small-minded copywriter, making very small money in a very small world. But if you want to become an A-list copywriter, you have to think very, very differently. You have to expand in a different way, and you have to stop doing some of these ridiculous concepts and ideas that some of these new copywriters are teaching people like yourself. So to become an A-list copywriter, a brilliant copywriter, here's what you have to do. You have to unplug and stop listening to these people who've probably never had a lot of experience in the world of copywriting telling you how to build a copywriting business. I've been doing this since 1985. I've had experience with hundreds upon hundreds of clients, from new startups to huge multi-million pound corporations, advising them on the strategies, the tactics, the writing, the words, etc., etc., etc. So they get a higher response rate. And I can tell you, I never did that listening to some of these guys. So yes, they will tell you some good stuff, But most of that stuff, if you want to be an A-list copywriter, if you want to make it as a copywriter, you need to step back and switch off from what those guys are teaching you. Because I can tell you now, it will be the only thing that will help you to probably fail and struggle and become frustrated as a copywriter. So guys, if you want more stuff like this, you know what to do. Like the video, follow Orange Beetle online, follow my copywriting stuff online. I'll only tell you what I've been doing for years and years and years and what I'm doing right now to make copy work in today's world. Thanks guys, Alan Forrest Smith from Orange Beetle. Until the next video, like, subscribe, I'll see you then.